Hey guys, it's me, TheTacticalBrit, and today we're going to be looking at the community map project again, which has just received another update on the CTE. And today we're going to look at all of the changes that have been made, and specifically as well what the developers are looking for in terms of feedback. Now I'm going to have a map overview so you guys will be able to see everything that's changed bit by bit, and I'll run you through an explanation of what's gone down. Now today's update has been pinned as marking kind of like the beginning of the end. They're finally going into detail on the community map project, and they really want this thing finalized and ready across all game modes, and including the actual design of the map itself, to have it ready for launch as soon as possible. Before I jump into any technicalities, I want to talk about the actual physical changes of the map that you guys will be able to see when you finally join in the most recent update. Now what you may notice is that the map seems a bit more compact, and that's because it is. The position B temple and the position D logging camp have actually moved closer towards the position C ghost town, and the idea behind this is to create a really strong central focus of the map and basically build much more choke points. And later on in the video I'm going to show you a mini map of exactly how they've done that. But essentially the overall goal of moving Bravo and Delta closer to Charlie is to add a bit more flow to gameplay and really reinvigorate the map in terms of infantry based combat. Position C has actually undergone change to facilitate the transition between Delta and Charlie at a much more effective level. Now before, Charlie and Delta had a bit of a gap in between it, making it very difficult for people at Delta to move into Charlie effectively or flank in without being spotted or killed. Now in order to fix this problem, they have actually stretched Charlie all the way into Delta now. There's now an extensive array of destructible buildings and cover to allow people at Delta to actually have an opportunity to attack Charlie effectively, and I feel like that's really going to add to the overall flow of gameplay. Moving in from Bravo to Charlie is a lot easier than moving in from Delta to Charlie previously, and now I feel like the odds have been somewhat evened up. The logging camp has actually undergone some change as well. Now the stretch of new buildings which move from Charlie to Delta have kind of interlinked with a brand new structure that they've set up at the edge of the logging camp, and the new flag is actually positioned on a widened river. There are some small destructible buildings surrounding the flag just above the river, and basically the buildings will stretch straight into that. So essentially if you capture the flag at D, you have a straight cut pathway into C, or vice versa. The new buildings have a very much kind of fortressy like kind of feel to it, and I feel like that's a good idea because when you got to Delta the gameplay went kind of drab. At Bravo there was lots of opportunities to make things and mix it up and get things quite interesting in terms of engagement, but the same wasn't felt at Delta where it was just a very simplistic logging camp, and now we have this kind of fortress based structure where people can actually have a clear shot into D from C or vice versa to make things a bit more action based and a lot faster paced as well. The Bravo based temple, which has been a real talking point about the community map project in terms of how it looks and the overall theme, has changed too. Now previously the waterfall was much lower, it's now been shifted upward and has a lot more velocity to it as well, so it looks really awesome from a distance and close up. And basically the temple has been shifted more outward, and the idea here is to change the temple from an active temple site to more of an abandoned relic, as they noted down on Reddit. And they've kind of added a backstory saying that the waterfall has caused cave-ins and damage, which has led the temple to be abandoned and become overgrown. And the overgrown comment is actually really useful because it links into some of the new foliage that we're seeing in this most recent update too. Now they've actually added vines which drape in from the trees above, which I think adds a really good effect to the overall atmosphere I feel the developers are trying to achieve with this community map project. Now people wanted a jungle which was very kind of ragtag and out there, didn't have a lot to it, it was supposed to be foliage based and something a bit reckless. They didn't want it to be very refined, they wanted it to be overgrown, crazy, and I think this is kind of what they're trying to deliver. It's a bit of insanity amongst some really well refined positions, and I kind of like that, having touches of craziness here and there which really shake things up. In fact, I think without the temple itself this map would be somewhat more drab than what it is now. Now I quickly wanted to take a quick overlook at the overall minimap which they've recently added to, and show you what I feel that they've done really successfully on this most recent update and how this map is changing for the better in terms of infantry based gameplay. Now I'm going to put some arrows here that will basically identify the key focuses of the map and where conflict is going to happen. It's a very ergonomic and very well thought out map by the looks of things, and I feel like once we have full servers running in there, it's going to be one of the best maps that we're going to see in Battlefield in terms of infantry based gameplay. So as you can see, the arrows here actually focus on the lanes that will be used primarily by infantry, and the dots focus on the choke points and places where infantry combat is likely to take place. And I feel like this is a very well done map. I know it doesn't look like much when you're just looking at it from a top-down perspective, but once you actually start moving in and amongst these buildings and obstacles, when you make that transition from Delta to Bravo through Charlie, you can really understand how this is going to pan out to be a very well thought out and really good map. Now for some of the more technical stuff, and the feedback requested this week is soldier collision, bullet collision, bad spawns, cover issues, exploits, and bad destruction. Of course, you can post that on Reddit and also use the BF bug tracker, which will be in the description below, to report any problems that you have found. And more specifically for Conquest, they're looking at flag distances, flag capture radii, vehicle spawns, and vehicles used, and also side balance as well, because they want to know if one team is winning more often so they can balance the map accordingly. So that's about it for this update video. Now before I go, I thought I'd leave you with some concept ideas that I've been playing around for the map for obliteration and capture the flag. These are some focus game modes that they want the community to look at and see where we would put the flags and put the bombs, etc. These are the places that I have chosen, so let me know how you feel about those and write it down in the description below. And let me know how you feel about the community map project as well, the progress that it's making, and whether or not you feel like it's going to be a good map when it finally comes out. As always guys, there is lots of stuff in the description below in terms of Reddit. The CTE definitely needs your help, so if you're on board and available at any time, please help them track the bugs. It will really add to the overall experience when this map finally releases. It's been me, the Tactical Brit. As always, thank you for watching.